Hey guys, welcome back to World of Tanks. My name is Bruce and today I want to present the new British Tier 10 wheeled medium tank, the Concept 5. Will this tank be the new powerhouse on Tier 10 or will it be lackluster just like the recently introduced GSWOT 1010? Let's find out in this video. We are here on the common test server, so everything is still subject to change. This is important to mention. Besides this, I wanted to test all the new British wheeled mediums, but as of now, people on the test server are only playing tier 10 tanks. So far I could only test the tier 10 tank, and this is what this video is all about. Now, how do I play this tank? Well, first of all, my crew is not so experienced as you can see. But I think this is realistic because lots of the other CCs test those new vehicles with an ultra strong crew with premium consumables left, right and center, and I think this is a much more realistic view onto this new tank. How do I play this tank? I play this tank as of now with improved ventilation, with a gun rammer and with optics. Now I have to say that I'm kind of testing the equipment and I think it would also make sense to play it with a turbo to further increase one of the biggest strengths of this tank, which is the mobility. But it could also make sense to play it with the commander's vision system in order to increase the spotting ability of this tank. Plus, of course, if you play this tank with premium consumables, you might even get rid of the coated optics because your view range is good enough, and you can then take some other equipment, for example turbo or CVS, as I just mentioned. Besides this, what is this tank all about? Well, this tank is about a very precise gun with a high alpha damage, 430 alpha damage, 260 millimeters of penetration on the standard ammunition, which is really strong. And look at this in my setup. And once again, I'm not playing this tank with premium consumables. I get 0.28 dispersion and 1.64 seconds aim time, alongside with 8 degrees of gun depression. So this tank is a real sniper. It hits hard and it's a very flexible tank. The mobility is also very strong, 65 kph top speed, 32 reverse and a power to weight ratio of 25.1, 485 meters of view range, and those are the strength of this tank. Now, is this tank lackluster in some regard? Yes, it is. I believe the camo value is a little bit lackluster. As you can see, 19.84 when stationary. And then this tank is a super huge tank. Look at the side profile. Very easy to hit with no armor whatsoever. So this is how the tank is balanced. And now let's jump into some gameplay to see what this tank is all about. Alright, so here we are in the Concept 5, the new tier 10 British wheeled medium tank, and we are spawning on Sudzianski in the east. So if you know my replays, then you know that I think that the southern portion of the map is the most important one. So we'll use this tank in order to go to the south. We are playing against 3 other Concept 5s and an chieftain, so we'll see how it goes. Here you go. I like to have the setting where I can see the type of tank on the side of the map, and the rest is not important for me. Okay, so there are no light tanks in the game, and let's see how it goes. So the first thing that you can notice is the mobility is relatively good for a medium tank. The acceleration is not as good as on a light tank, but it's certainly better than on a, let's say, standard medium tank. So power to weight ratio on this tank is 25.22 stock. Okay, let's see. Alrighty. Okay, we bounce on the side of the turret. As you can see, the map has been reworked. As you can see here, this is much different than compared to the map as it was previously. So I think it is a good idea to play a bit more defensively, looks like. Okay, let's see. No, we cannot penetrate the... You know what? He's moving into a bush. Okay, we cannot spot him when he is in the bush. Interesting. Yeah, so the mobility is actually good. Top speed 65 kph. And a good power to weight ratio. Now, what I found during... There you go. During my first games is that... He's playing hull down, okay. Is that if you want to turn around, if you want to drive a corner, then the tank feels a bit sluggish. And I think you have to come off the... Okay, super unfortunate here. You have to discontinue to drive forward and simply only hold the D or the A button. As you can see, those tanks can turn on the spot. But as you can see, they are a bit sluggish when it comes to, you know, driving around, driving corners. So yeah, that's simply how it is. And something that you should know if you're playing those tanks. Besides this, the gun feels super precise, and with the 430 Alpha, the tank, the gun really hits hard. So okay, I knocked down this tree, which is kind of stupid. This tank is behind cover, so you know what? We will simply let those tanks advance, and we'll turn around in order to leave the scenery earlier, if it is possible. Okay, here you go. Okay, this tank is also... Can we even take a tank under fire from this position? I do not think so. The object 2684 is getting smashed in a bit. Maybe we can go back here. Alright, so the tank... Looks like the tank is unable to actually achieve its 65 kph top speed. At least for the most part. Nice. 455. And the DPM... Okay, we need to go. We need to run. The DPM is not too good either. Aim time is super nice, as you can see. And now we have to run, because the M5Y does have a good DPM. And as you can see with the... With my build, so with coated optics, I think I receive, I get about 480 meters of view range, and this really pays off in assisting damage. So my recommendation, you know, at the first glance, is to play this tank as kind of a medium light tank hybrid, so that, you know what, I will go back into these bushes and try to spot for my team. I think it can pay off big time. Hopefully it will. We'll see how it goes. You know what? Let's go to those bushes. As you can see, I reverse into the bushes so that I can spot those tanks. So yeah, I think I recommend to play those tanks as a light tank medium hybrid. They will not be successful competing against the spotting job when it comes to, you know, at the beginning of the game, against the light tanks. But I think later on in the game, or in such games where you do not have light tanks, then you can really make the difference. Like, for example, in a WoT, I think this comparison is valid. And it's an excellent sniper. It has a very precise gun, 1.73 seconds aim time, 0.3 base dispersion. So an excellent gun, 260 millimeters of penetration on the standard shell. So an excellent precise gun. The only thing which is lackluster is... Okay, I think those tanks have relocated. The only thing which is lackluster is the DPM. Base DPM is only 2252 as of now. But I think this is a good balancing factor by Wargaming, because the game is relatively fast anyway nowadays, and so I think... Okay, here go. Okay. You know what? Let's try to ram him. Okay. Okay, nice. So I think balancing those tanks with bad DPM is actually a good way to go for the future of the game. So that's what I like. Okay. As you can see, the tank traverse is really, at least feels really bad. So that's just another drawback of those tanks. So driving around is not that easy. It just does not feel as agile as light tanks. But I think that is good because it's, after all, a medium tank, and this tank is huge. This tank is super tall, so you cannot rely on... okay, was... Okay. You know what? I think he has taken a shot. Has he? I don't know. I think proxy spot him. There you go. Yep. Nice. And so yeah, I think a decent game. You know what? Let's here you go. And this tank really hits super hard. Look at this, 523 damage. So all in all, 6.1k combined, and I think you got a good impression of this tank. Like, it has a very precise gun, it hits really hard, it has good mobility, although not as good as on light tanks. The tank it feels sluggish. However, I think it is simply because, I don't know, maybe because of the terrain resistance values, I don't know. On paper, mobility is good. As I said, top speed is 65. Power to weight ratio is about 25, so a pretty mobile tank. As you could see, during turns it feels kind of sluggish, quite like lackluster when it comes to at least if you compare to light tanks. But all in all, I really like this tank. Now, I think this is kind of a light tank medium hybrid. It's an excellent sniper, and it's a very versatile tank. It hits hard, so you can really do second line gameplay alongside with heavy tanks. You can peek out once your heavy tanks have taken a shot, and then basically offer your firepower to your friends, to your teammates. You can snipe in this tank. It's an excellent sniper, very precise gun. The DPM is rather mediocre, but the mobility lets you change flanks very quickly. And the only thing you have to notice and recognize is that the tank traverse feels a bit lackluster. When it comes to camo, as you can see on my build, and as you can see, I do not use premium consumables as I would in my other vehicles. The camo value is also lackluster. With the crew which is already working on concealment, I only get about 20 and moving about 15. So it's not a spotter per se, but with my build, with coated optics, I get fantastic 485 view range. I will try out some more settings. Maybe the CVS will work on this tank as well. Maybe if I change coated optics for CVS, but I will try this out. But all in all, I think it's a fantastic tank, and it's really fun to play. Alright, second game in the Concept 5. This time we are spawning on Wadi in the east, and this time we actually have a light tank in the game, the Manticore. We're playing against the Rheinmetall Panzerwagen, the tier 10 German light tank, which recently has been buffed. And let's see how it goes. So I will try to go to the south, and I think this is a good showcase of showing the sluggishness of this tank. So I keep driving forwards, and I turn my left button, I turn my right button, and as you can see, it feels, I don't know, it feels rather lackluster. Now, the tank, I think, is actually pretty fast, but the mobility feels a bit lackluster. Here comes the first problem of the bad camo value. The stock camo values are 10.4 and 7.8, and the tank is huge. The tank profile is gigantic, and so that is certainly a disadvantage of the tank. However, I think it is fantastic to see that Wargaming actually balanced this tank nicely, and in my opinion, it can stay how it is. Now I want to keep spotting those tanks. Here you go. Because after all, that's what I'm here for on this flank. I'm here to spot those tanks. There you go. Who did I spot? Here you go. The gun handling is nice. It's really, really nice. And I think due to the fact that with a gun rammer you can bring your DPM to just about 10 seconds or so, it's not a problem, because in so many situations in World of Tanks, what you want to do is you want to hide so that you are not spotted anymore. And this takes about 10 seconds, and so having a reload of about 10 seconds is actually not too bad. And so I think the DPM is okay. It doesn't really hold this tank back, and so yeah, it's a kind of a nice balancing feature of this tank. And besides this, the gun handling is really nice. There you go. I'm trying to collect spotting damage, and yeah, once again, here you go. As you can see, you can snipe like a god in this vehicle, left, right, center, and there's nothing. There you go. Oops, that was bad aiming by me. And now we simply want to maybe get in. Ah, here you go. Oh. Ah, this game is interesting. Keep in mind, this is the live server. Sorry, this is the common test server, so the gameplay might be a bit different than compared to the live games. I exposed my tank too much. Interesting game. Interesting game, and you know what? Interesting game. Okay, bounce the shot on the side of the mouse, which is unfortunate. Yeah, as you can see on the minimap, yeah, that was unfortunate. But nothing what I can do. And now I am in a crossfire situation, which is... There you go. Which is bad per se. And this thing's not pushing me. Okay. I bounced this shot, which is bad, and nothing I can do. So yeah, a mediocre game, but I think what you saw in this game is that this tank is a real sniper. It's a good sniper, the gun hits hard, it's easy to build up damage. The DPM is not too bad, and it doesn't hold this tank back if you ask me. It's difficult to drive because of how the mechanics is designed with those British wheeled medium tanks, but other than that, I really have to say that I like the vehicle, and I think it's an overall solid tank. It's not OP, simply because there are some things which hold it back, but all in all, I think it's nicely balanced. It's a good tank, and I think in the hands of good players, this tank can really shine. Okay, third and last game. In this video, we are once again spawning in a tier 10 matchup simply because we are playing on the common test server in the concept 5. This time we are spawning on Mannerheim line in the south. And in this game, I want to kind of give you my first conclusion about this tank. So, first of all, do I like this tank? Yes, absolutely yes. Right from the get-go, this tank was fun to play. It was interesting, it was new, it was not OP, at least I didn't have the impression. It felt interesting, and it had its strength, but also its weaknesses. And hence, I do not think that it is an OP tank. There are some things that hold this tank back. For example, there you go. For example, the DPM. What shines is the fantastic gun handling. As you can see, the gun is superb in this tank. And the mobility is good. There you go. The gun is so sweet. It makes so much fun to use the gun in this tank. The mobility, mobility feels a bit weird, at least when it comes to. There you go. At least when it comes to, you know, turning. But I do like the gun handling. I do like this tank, and it's really fun to play. So yeah. I hope that all the British light tanks do have the same playstyle. And there you go. It's a real sniper gun. I think in my next videos, once this tank hits the live server, I will try and test this gun against the Leopard 1 gun, because it really feels good and even superior. Let's go back a little bit. I think I need to drive down here. Alrighty. No. So what can we do? There you go. Another sniping shot, and it's actually, it feels so easy to snipe with this tank. Plus the 430 Alpha feels so nice. It's so nice. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, so 3-3, the battle is relatively close. Okay, this shot actually did not hit. Okay. Okay, at least we can hit the tracks and track this E100. There you go. Yep, he also takes a shot onto us, which is fair enough. Oops. And as you can see, the tank really slows down if one wheel is hit, unlike in the French wheeled light vehicles. So this is a good thing if you ask me. There you go. Yeah, you can really hit left, right, center in this tank. It's a fantastic sniper. Alright, so I think it is time to visit the ST2. Reaching top speed in this tank. So, yeah, okay, he has shot. He has just shot, so let's turn around, and you know what? Another shot, nice, and I think... Okay, he should be able to finish this tank off. What is he doing, my friend? What are you doing? I do not want to take a shot from the... Yep. Ah, okay. We're set on fire. I didn't want to take a shot from the T110E3. Anyway, I think this game showed the superb sniping capabilities of this tank. And yeah, I have to say I really like this tank. I like the combination of a mobile tank with a precise gun. I think it's good that this tank is balanced with DPM. I think it's also balanced with ammo value, which is lackluster. I think nonetheless, with the superb view range, it is a kind of light-medium hybrid. Something like the WoT, but not with the huge, gigantic autoloader clip and bad gun handling, but instead with good gun handling, good alpha, but a little bit lackluster DPM. And it feels really interesting, and I hope that the whole British medium tech tree line will be like this, because then it is really fun to play, really interesting, and yeah, nice balancing by Wargaming. So I'm really looking forward to playing those tanks. Alright guys, that was it for today with a little video about the new tier 10 British wheeled medium tank, the Concept 5. What do you think about this tank? Do you like what you see? Do you like the balance of this tank? Will he start to grind the new tech tree line? Just leave a comment in the comment section down below. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. If you hated it, give it a thumbs down. Consider subscribing to my channel, and I see you next time in another World of Tanks video.